Let's look at the new event in Forge of Empires. It's 10th anniversary event, and let's see what it's all about. I haven't opened anything, so I don't know what exactly to expect. But let's click here and see what we have. Okay, it seems that it's like a board game, and we can roll the dice, and it's going to cost us tickets, money, something like that. But usually before rolling, I would like to get a little bit more of the currency of the event. So let's actually look at the quests that we are going to do. Okay, the first one is the daily quest. Like each time that you log in, you will get some paper money. This is the currency for this event, and let's collect that. The rest of the quests, the first ones you can do as fast as you can, and later on you will only get one quest per day. So actually a good system that first you can advance at your own pace, but you can't like rush to the end right away, because this new building you can't unlock it all in one day. But the quests themselves seems to be quite typical, so pay a little bit of coins and you get money. Building decorations, again, something that usually has been in previous events. So I have a little bit of room especially saved for the events where I can build different kind of things, and we had 5 decorations from my age or 6 decorations from the previous age. And usually what I do is I calculate how much supplies it's going to take, because I have 3 times more coins than I have supplies. So usually this is what I look at. And I think it's more reasonable to build these asteroid ads from the previous era. I'm going to build 6 of them. Not sure that they are all going to fit, but let's build some of them and then sell them. As you notice, I haven't collected anything from my crate buildings or my production buildings today, because usually the quests require some kind of like collect supplies or spend forge points or like finish production different times. Okay, but let's finish selling these, because otherwise people will motivate them, and I don't have any kind of use for that. So we are going to have 15 minutes production. I'm going to pay the supplies right away, and my supply buildings, I'm just going to collect the 24-hour collection that we had previously set, and just set them to produce in 50 minutes. So the reason why I'm using blacksmiths, it's from Bronze Age, is that this is a production building that has the lowest area. So I think many of the players use them because they are the most efficient way of doing these kind of quests. Okay, but now we should wait for 15 minutes, and I really don't want to do that. I do have my daily quest. I'm going to do that in between. So I'm going to pay the coins, and then I have to do some battles and negotiations. Before I do that, actually let's look at the board. So I'm guessing that if you roll the dice, then you are going to move on the board, and you are going to get different kind of prizes. So some of them have a chance of getting the daily special. The daily special is from a previous event, Shuisun Mill. I'm not going to switch it. Let's see if I have any kind of use for that, because I'm quite sure I have the final level already completed. Yeah, and it's only 33% of supply collection. It does have 11 forge points, but not for me. And I'm going to switch it, and then I'm going to get a new building, and it's going to be Stage of Ages. okay, this is a new building and it seems that it's actually quite good. It's 4x4, so it's quite large, but at the same time it's going to give 90% of attack for the attacking army, and also some goods and some forge points. So this actually would be a good place to spend your tickets. In previous events, at least, the daily on the first day is going to be quite good. Then for a week or two it won't appear again, but at least 2 or 3 times it will reappear. So in the middle and at the end, because this is something that I would like to get. I have some buildings that I want to replace. So Stage of Ages is going to be something really nice that I'm going to use. And yeah, it's the same way that it has been for the majority of the events, that you have a percentage or like a chance to get from these chests. So some of the chests you have a higher percentage, like 16 here, and in some of the chests lower, 13. Actually, it's quite high. So based on previous experience, I will have about 4 or 5 of these buildings at the end of the event. Then we have this golden dice. I have one of them left. I'm guessing that if I'm going to roll it, then I can just choose where I'm going to land. Okay, I'm going to save it for later, and I'm guessing that it works that if you are going to go around the board and you want to land on a special like space, then you can just use the golden dice and say that I'm going to land here because I want this portrait or I want this building. Okay, now let's also see what the event building itself is. It's actually not that big, 4 times 5. And let's see what the final levels are going to give us. It's defense for the attack army. It also has 10 forge points and previous era goods. And the random production, yeah, it's kind of a bonus, but none of them are actually that necessary. Oh, it does have like a multiplier, that you're not going to just get 1 attack bonus, but you are going to get 5 of these, and 10 of mass supply and 2 of 1-up kits. I guess that makes it better, but usually these kind of things come from other sources as well, like your guild expedition and places like that. So if you are leveling up and you are in the very early stages of your settlement, then maybe the 1-up kits are going to be useful, because you are going to run out of them if you are going to advance through the ages. So this is something maybe to consider. So it's so-so. Not sure that I'm going to get it. Okay, but because the daily special now is something that I'm going to want, then I'm just going to roll the dice, and then I'm going to move forward 4 steps. And yeah, going to get some coins. Going to get, oh, it does have 2 different kind of rewards. So 1 reward for rolling the dice, and second for the actual building that I landed on. So I have a few more, or I have some money left to make the moves. Okay, absorber drones. Oh, okay, so I'm at the moment at Stone Age. I'm guessing that if I'm going to complete the lap, then I'm going to advance to the next age. The buildings are going to change, but it doesn't seem that the buildings are actually linked to the Stone Age that we had there. Oh, the reason why I got 20 force points is because I landed on the daily goal. So there was a small flag there. So if you land on that, then you're going to get something extra. And 20 force points, yeah, it's like free money. Okay, not going to buy diamonds at the moment. And let's use our last roll. And this is the king. Quite useless. I heard that there is a second level, or you can upgrade it to something a little bit better now, but let's see if there is a way on how I can do that. Oh, okay, so we have Grand King Selection Kit. So the second one, oh, okay, so we have 5% of to the attacking army. And if you have the queen also, you are going to get 5 forge points. So the king and queen might be something that I am interested in, because it's 10 forge points and 10% to the attacking army. And it's 3 times 3 area that is going to take. Okay, that's actually a decent upgrade. That is something that I might get later, hopefully. Okay, so at the moment I have run out of money, and now I should just wait 15 minutes until my production buildings have finished. It's going to take some time. I'm not going to collect these things, although I'm very tempted, because the earlier I get my timers, the earlier I will get them tomorrow, and usually I have some work or other business that I have to do before I can start playing this game, and it tends to get later and later when I can collect all of this stuff. And the second reason is that I have a lot of forge points at the moment on the table, but some of my larger great buildings like this cape, it's going to produce another 80 points, and it's better to have them spread around a little bit over time, because otherwise you will not have like one place where you can invest all of the forge points that you have. Yeah, so let's now do a little bit of the daily challenge. So I have to have 3 negotiations without losing, and it's actually quite simple if you have a little bit of tavern coins saved up. So I'm going to activate this extra turn boost, and then I'm going to open my expedition. I have all of my turns left, so I'm just going to do it now. So I'm using Forge of Empires Helper. It's an add-on for Chrome, and it's really awesome. The negotiations part also helps a little bit, but mostly I use it for great buildings. Like if you have to invest in your guildmates or your friends' great buildings, it's going to give you how many forge points you have to invest. So instead of going to like web pages and look for the information there. Oh, nice. My space carrier just procced. So every time I do a negotiation, I have a chance of getting something extra. So 54 points, it's actually quite a nice addition. So let's do the next one. Also, why these negotiations when doing guild expeditions are good is that you are going to get also castle points. And usually I try to do at least all of the negotiations in order to get all of the castle points available for that day. So 15 minutes, it's more than enough to go through all of your attempts that you have available. And if you have medals to spare, you can buy additional attempts and get actually quite far. But because of the castle point system, I usually don't want to do all of the guild expedition in like 1 or 2 days, because like the negotiations where you can do it, there aren't that many opportunities. I can do them in my colony, or actually not the colony, but on the map where I gather the carbon for my Venus colony, but it's tedious. So it's actually quite good to get some of the negotiations out of the way, so I don't have to worry about them later on. Okay, I'm going to do one more because I think that I already have 3 of them in a row, but just in case I'm going to do this one too. Now, because I have Temple of Relics, each time that I complete one of these actions, I get the chance that I'm going to get the relic. So I have few of them on the board, but I'm going to open them later. Yeah, so I have all the encounters solved. I'm going to now use battles. This is my PvP setup that I have 6 power dragons and 2 ghost blasters. But when doing these kind of fights, then having 2 or 3 of the units and rest of them rogues is the optimal way to go. And let's swap this one out in case it would die. Okay, I'm now going to collect my relics because I'm going to advance to the next stage. So these 2, these 3, I'm just going to trade them at my antiques dealer because I have no use for these kind of buildings, at least not at the moment. So again, let's spend all our attempts. I have 3 more, so I'm going to get to the middle point or this milestone that is here, that will unlock like the next part of this guild expedition. And I already have one of the relics waiting for me there. So last one here, and we are going to get mass self-aid, so I'm going to exchange that at the dealership. Okay, 200 goods from my age, that's actually quite decent. So the timers are still at 1 minute, so actually I will be able to finish it. So my daily quest is done. I'm going to collect 100 castle points and some forge points. I had the possibility of getting like military buildings, like drummer school or something like that, but again, these are quite useless, at least in my age, and I would have just exchanged them in the dealer. So now I'm going to wait just a little bit longer, and I'm going to collect these supply productions. I'm just going to visit my Mughal Empire. So this is one of the actually I'm not sure what it's called. It's not expedition. Expedition is in the jungle, but it's settlements. Oh yeah. So this Mughal Empire is really tedious. I actually don't really like it, because every time that you want to do a quest or unlock something, you pretty much have to sell all of your town in order to fill the spaces with the things that are going to give you diplomacy. So, and at the end, you have to buy a lot of expansions in order to actually get like 1,500 diplomacy. So it's tedious, but the rewards are somewhat okay. So at the moment, I'm doing for a temple upgrade. I have it at level, I have, I think level 4, because I'm going to get 15 forge points, and at this level it's going to be 20 forge points, and at the last level 30. So the reward is okay, but it's going to take a lot of time. It's like 2 weeks for one settlement, and that's after you have gathered or you have played it through enough times, because at the moment I have 19% of getting 4 times the goods, but it's still going to take a lot of time to go through it. Okay, so now I have my production done. I have about 14 of these production buildings in my city, and this seems to be like quite the optimal amount, because I'm going to do the quests quite fast. So yeah, that's done. So defeating army or simple negotiation. I think I will do the negotiation because again I will get my castle points, and because the resources required are so low, then yeah, it's quite easy to do. Now gathering supplies. I have quite a lot of buildings that will provide supplies, and there we go. Then paying snacks or nickel. I'm going to do nickel because it's going to be from previous age, and usually it's like in your current age, if you have 10 goods, then it's going to equal to 20 goods from the previous age. So this is going to take a little bit of time, at least 10 minutes, because it was 24. It was, yeah, 24 times I have to complete 1 minute supply manufacture or supply production. So meanwhile, I'm going to put some of the forge points into my chateau because I'm leveling it up. I'm preparing for the space age Jupiter's moon, and getting more from completing quests is actually quite good because at least some of the quests are going to give me diamonds. So that's like one of the ways of getting a little bit more diamonds. It's a huge investment. I'm going to need about 1,500 forge points. It's going to take me about 2 days, something like that, to collect that many forge mines. Some of my collections in the map are ready. In this case, I'm going to fight because it's going to require 3 goods, but I'm going to negotiate here because it requires 2 of them. So this is the second place where I usually do my negotiations in order to get my castle points. And because there are only 4 different options, it's almost 100% assured that I'm going to get the whole thing right. And I haven't started exploration on this one, so I can come back in an hour and do another negotiation there. So let's okay. PvP, I already have done some of them today. This is actually quite high level, or the percentages that she has is quite high. I'm going to refresh it. Oh, I still got her. But because I don't have to fight at the moment, I'm just not going to do anything there. So, okay, I think there is a bug or something because the event itself has disappeared for whatever reasons. I probably have to reload it in order to get it back. And because I still have a little bit of time of collecting these, then I'm going to just pause the video here, and I will continue after the supply production has finished. So I just collected the supply production, but I forgot to start recording again. So I got the quest done. I started the production again at 8 hours, hoping that the next or some of the quests will require 8-hour production. And I also spent some of the forge points. I collected from my blue galaxy, so it doubles the chance that it gives a chance that the collections are going to be double. So collecting from these different kind of buildings, especially from like this terracotta vineyard or this Shinto temple, it actually provides quite a lot of forge points each day, extra forge points. So I completed that quest, and now I just completed spending forge points and cultural buildings. And the reward is going to be a golden dice. So this allows me to choose where I'm going to land on the board. So the first 6 quests have been done. I get my first event building, the Golden Orrery. Still not sure if I'm going to get it, but I'm at least going to collect it. And now I don't have 8 hours, but I have 4 hours. So this means that I have to wait at least 4 hours before I can continue with the quests. That's actually okay, because if you can do them in just one sitting, then it reduces the fun of playing, because like farming everything really quickly is you are going to just burn out faster if you are going to play it intensely for several hours a day, and the rest of the month is going to be, well, you have nothing to do. So I cancelled my supply production, and I'm just going to start the 4-hour production. Now, because it's going to take 4 hours, I'm not going to wait until then to collect the rest of my forge points. So I'm just going to start somewhere and collect all of them. I'm still leveling my chateau, so I still can put some forge points there, but at some points I'm going to run out where I can actually invest them. Actually, it's not a problem. I'm going to put additional 29 here, and hopefully I can collect the rest of them. Maybe not, because I do have quite a lot of forge points made at the same time. So let's see what else I'm leveling. Seed Vault. My short-term goal is to get most of my buildings to level 80. It's not optimal in no way, but it's going to look nice. It's if I have all of the buildings to level 80, and then I'm going to, well, see, probably going to level up my attack buildings like Zeus and Castle Del Monte and Terracotta Army. But at the moment I'm just going to level them to level 80. Missing something. Oh, there it is. So now I have collected everything. I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to wait until I can invest for the third spot. So I'm going to announce it in our guild thread. And hopefully people will take the first and second spot, and then I can put additional force points there. Okay, so I just had to put away one of the buildings because the Sky Taxi took 5x5 space, and it was from the previous quest. And I'm going to now put my Celtic Farmstead back where I took it. So store buildings, these items actually come quite often, and I have extra. So usually during an event I have to put 1 or 2 buildings away, and the time it takes to actually complete the event and the time for the next one, you are going to gather enough of these store buildings. Now let's open the event surprise box. This is given to you when you are completing the previous event. So at some point during this event I will also get the new box. It gives some force points, it gives a special building, boost crate, and these are like the 2 things that I'm going to get from here. Let's also collect our castle rewards. So it's the 7th day, I got 100 points. Next time it's going to be 10 points. The collection system is actually very nice because you don't have to log in every day. So the streak isn't broken if you are going to skip one day. That's awesome, because otherwise it's going to feel like it's a chore that you have to do it. And if you feel that, then it's no longer fun to play. And for my daily collectible, I'm going to get 20 forge points and some goods. So that's actually it for now. I'm not going to collect the incidents because this might be required later on during the events, and I'm also not going to polish or motivate my neighbors, because again, this is something that might be required later on. So that's a short overview of the short overview of the event, and a little bit of gameplay of Space Age Venus.